going on? Legion Nuta here, playing more RuneScape Dragonwilds. Welcome to our Daily Gaming XP Grind, episode 33. So we did finish our Dragonkin behind the scenes. We got that row complete. And we're also working on another one here. We're going to be working on our hard leather body, all the hard leather. So we're going to make 3 rows of that. And we still got to finish these ones here. But we've got quite a bit of soldiers here. And right now we're actually going to be working on... That's right, construction. And there was a lot of debate in our head whether or not we were going to wait to do this, because obviously once we decide to do it, it's going to take away a little bit from what we can still do in the game, and it's going to force progression on certain things. So the one problem I've already got is I weigh too much, and I don't know if I can get an ash log to build a ramp up. So this is definitely a problem. So I don't even... my logging axe I left behind. So we're going to have to pick up some sticks, and it won't allow us to. So this is definitely a problem, as... Let's see, we'll just destroy these here and then pick them up. One of these chests is actually empty too, so I could probably just destroy that. I want to make sure I destroy the wrong one. I mean, the right one. Otherwise, we're going to have a problem. So... let's go ahead and build this ramp, and then we're going to basically get a ridiculous amount of construction XP. Also, while we're on the topic, we really appreciate you guys checking out our content in the game, and we also really appreciate your support. So if you guys haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to our channel, as we really appreciate your support. So anyway, we are going to be building a ridiculous amount of side tables. The most we've ever built at once. I think our record is 165,000 XP in about 12 minutes. So we are going to be breaking that today. So let's go ahead and get started. So bigger platform, more planks to pick up. Everything's set in motion. We don't have any weapons to defend ourselves in case we do get attacked. But I guess we'll have to cross that issue if it becomes an issue. So there should be a ridiculous amount of planks on the ground that we're going to be able to pick up as we go. But I think we've set ourselves up for success here. Hopefully we can reach our target. As right now, I hate to break the chain, but we do have 1.7,014,000 construction XP. So we're going to jump back in, and ultimately, we will find out how much we can actually chain. And I don't remember how much I had when I stopped, but it doesn't really matter, because ultimately we are going to be getting a ridiculous amount of construction XP doing this. And as you've seen in other videos I've done, all you have to do is destroy the base, and most of these will automatically destruct. But don't worry, the ones that don't are going to over time while you're playing the game, doing other things. So you get all your resources back, and you get a ridiculous amount of XP. Things to keep an eye on, which sometimes I forget, are your construction potion. Make sure that that's topped off, as you're going to lose a lot of XP if you don't make sure it's active. And the only reason you're losing so much is because you're making so many. So I would have to guess that we probably stop doing that. We have about 3,000 XP. So we could just add about 3,000 XP at the end of our complete total. But hopefully we get close to our 2 million goal in construction, and I'm fairly confident that that will be level 99 in the skill, but I'm not quite sure. So I guess we'll just have to wait to see. I mean, that could take 2 years. I'm not really quite sure of their system that's in plan of when they want to give us the ability to get level 99 in all skills. So we're just going to have to wait to see. But all we can do is wait. I think it's going to be quite interesting to see the progression and the way that they do decide to do that, because I think that obviously that's going to be a huge part of this for a lot of people. There's a lot of people who are interested in getting 99 in these skills, and I think they know that. So they're sort of using it as a way to sort of bleed it. But obviously we love the game, so it's not like it's a bad thing. I think if anything, it's just something to keep an eye on and be excited about, really, because it sort of gives us the opportunity to really experience everything the game has to offer, whilst achieving new milestones as they release skill levels to the game. So obviously we want to be able to get there now, but if they were allowing us to get there now, then I guess as new content came to the game, it would sort of leave less of a reason to play as much, I suppose, for some people, not all people, as it is still a survival game. I think once they add new dragons to the game and new creatures, it can get quite interesting, I think. I mean, depending on the difficulty of the creature, you may actually have to start to use evade and things like that, and different abilities that are going to be integrated into the game. So I think the more and more complex the creatures get, the more and more it's going to feel like it's supposed to, and really have um, sort of a repercussion, I suppose, because if you think about it, they're probably going to have, like, obviously they've already said they're going to have different elements, whether it's you can only do things in the shade, so that's going to be interesting to see how they implement that. But I'm also talking about creatures and the way that they want to sort of implement that and what it's going to look like, because I personally think it will be like, to kill certain creatures won't just be, you will not be able to just farm them. I think it's going to be more difficult than that. I think it's going to look like each kill might take quite a bit of time, but they're going to drop something that you want that's going to allow you to craft certain things. So I think that's going to be quite interesting to see that the way that they decide to do that and implement that into the game. But for now, I mean, all we can do is just keep getting XP and keep going on this road to max. But I'm just very interested to see so many things and the way that they're going to integrate them into the game. So all will be known eventually, and I think it's really exciting. I really hope they still bring lesser demons to the game. I know that towards the beginning, when they started to really talk about the content that they were going to be bringing to the game, that was one of the things that they discussed. And I really haven't seen a lot that's been talked about it recently. So maybe that could come out with range. I'm not entirely sure. And then where would they put them? But ultimately, I guess these are all just things we're going to have to wait and see. So that's 63,000. But I guess if you include the 3,000 we got earlier, so we're at 66,000 construction XP. This is going to take a little bit of time, but obviously it's very rewarding. We're going to get a lot of the XP that we need. And some people might not want to do this way. I could completely understand that, but the only issue with that I have is, how else would you get the construction XP that you're going to need to get to level 99? You could say, oh, well, I'm going to be building bases throughout time, and it's going to give me construction XP. If there's any way that construction is going to require 1,000,000 XP in a game, I would see it very difficult if you're just doing normal things in a game. That's not going to get you level 99. Obviously, you're getting little chunks of XP from potentially building crafting stations or relocating a base, but ultimately, you're going to have to do things on a massive level. I think since I've started this playing this game, I've already made like massive bases. So, and then I had to get all those materials back and sort of do it again. I've made a lot of charcoal. I'd say we're probably sitting on almost 50,000 charcoal right now, and we're probably sitting on maybe 35,000 clay vessels. So, I mean, we've got quite a bit of resources. The vessels are actually starting to come in handy as we're making a lot more potions, so that way we can work on our different skills. But I don't really want to work on mining anymore right now. I've got 4,000,000 XP. Obviously, I'm going to be getting little chunks here and there when I work on rune crafting. But then when it, in regards to, sorry, my train of thought, I don't even know what XP I had on the screen. That was bad. But it doesn't matter. Regardless, we'll sort of use what I said we had when we started as our base point. But we're getting ridiculous amounts of XP. But in regards to what I was just talking about, I completely forgot. So moving on. Ultimately, you're going to need a lot of XP. Oh, that's what I was talking about. So basically, I don't need any more mining XP. I don't need any more artisan. I think I might have just said that. I'm not sure. Mining and artisan do not need any more XP in those skills. 4,000,000 and 3,000,000. I mean, there's a very small chance that it's going to require that much XP to get to level 99. I think construction sitting at 2 mil should easily get us what we need. The ones that I'm a little bit concerned about currently right now are ranged, which isn't out yet, attack, and magic. And seeing how slow we're leveling those up, obviously we're fighting lower level creatures, it does still make my mind sort of spin. And it says, how are we going to level those up efficiently unless I'm way off? I mean, I could be so far off when it comes to 99, it's ridiculous. It could just be like 250,000 XP. So in their head, they're like, okay, but I mean, I don't know. I still think it's going to probably be sitting around a million XP. It gives a reason for people to sit and play the game for great lengths and always something to explore. Maybe they'll raise the cap. I mean, that's another thing that I haven't even discussed before in any of my videos. Is it possible that 99 isn't the end? I mean, if they wanted to keep expanding on the game and create more expansions, you essentially would have to start thinking about that at some point. So you could add new spells, new abilities in the game, and I think it wouldn't be a horrible idea. Obviously, we've got to get to level 60 and level 70 way before we can even start really talking about level 120 and things like that. But I don't think it's quite like in RuneScape where it would be this horrible thing. I think it would just be like, let's keep playing this survival game and we're going to unlock new abilities and cool things. So tons of construction XP we're getting right now. And obviously this took a long time to prepare. If you started watching my daily gaming XP grinds, you'll know that this was quite a bit of time in the making. And it's not really an easy thing to sort of gear up for. I mean, you basically have to keep building and then destroy and build and destroy and keep gathering logs. So that way you can come over here with a full inventory of ash planks. So definitely something that took a lot of determination and planning, that's for sure. It's interesting how I found out about this. It was sort of an accident. I was building, and then I had the idea. I had destroyed something that had a lot of things on top of it, and it was just all fell. So I was like, that gets me thinking. What is there something I could build a lot of that's really small and could give quite a bit of XP, and then I just destroy and it all falls. And it just so happened to turn out that this was something that doesn't require a ridiculous amount of resources, but you can actually still like make a ridiculous amount. So I'm going to see if there's any more in here. There's not. And I know there's some on the ground all around that I can pick up, but we do have a couple more here. I don't think there's any in my storage chest. I do need to look out for that, and there's not. So we're just going to have to rely on whatever we're going to be picking up. We just reactivated our construction potion. I really would have thought I would have had a lot more, but I think we're going to be getting those as we pick them up off the ground. But then you got to also imagine anytime my inventory was extremely full, I wasn't able to pick them up. So they could still be scattered closer to the beginning of this whole thing, and I just don't get to pick them up this time. But we're still picking up quite a bit, so all we can keep doing is just keep going. So if I'm trying to remember right now how much construction XP I had on my last video, I think it was like 7,100,000, and I'm not 100% sure, but either way, we're gonna, what did I just say, 7 million? What I meant to say was 1.7 million if I actually said the wrong thing. Sorry about that. I'm actually quite tired. I've been playing the game quite a bit for today, and you just got to keep going, stay motivated, but ultimately excited as very interested to see what they've got with range. And they did say it was going to be kind of like magic, and they said that it may feel a little bit underwhelming, and I think that's okay because ultimately we've got plenty of time. That's something else that we're not really considering at times, is the game is still so early, and obviously we're only level 50, so many things might come to the game. And I'm not even sure because I took such a big break from RuneScape 3, but is there going to be a dragon bow? Was there ever a dragon bow? I've got no idea, but I feel like in this game, since we're in Ashenfall and we're not really in Gillinor, they can do things that sort of spin off of RuneScape, and that would actually be really cool to see certain things get created that aren't in the other game. And I think that that would just be really interesting, because that means potentially at some point, who wouldn't like to see bandos in this game? Potentially bandos armor, that's sort of just like in the other game, but maybe just different somehow. Or what if the Bandos brothers were here? I don't really know their lore and their story origin, but could you imagine if Bandos was somehow intertwined with this place? I'm not sure about their timeline in Gillinor, but those are all really cool things to sort of think about and potentially wonder if they could somehow bring them to the game. But I don't know exactly how much XP we're going to be getting because I sort of blew it and I did not keep track. But what I can tell you is that when we originally checked the XP, I think it was like 1,710,000 or something like that. So regardless, I know that we're working towards our progress and our progression towards getting 2 million XP. So that's all that really matters. It doesn't so much matter that I don't remember what I started with. So, and I mean, you could always go back and watch the last episode and it would obviously tell you where we're at with that. So I'm going to run around here and just grab any more planks that I might potentially be able to get. So that way we can just sort of squeeze in a little bit more XP here and do that. And we're actually still picking up some planks on the ground, but there we go. So, I mean, it's quite a bit of these side tables. And actually, I don't know if you noticed, but we actually extended this. So there's actually quite a bit more than you really realize, because usually we would have just started about right here. So this is all new in the sense of what we built compared to last time. So there's actually quite a bit here. But that's pretty much where we're at. We're going to do a quick XP update because ultimately we have been playing behind the scenes. And I want to sort of share what we got done and where we're at. And one of the cool things is we finished our Dragonkin armor row. And we've started on this one. And then we're going to be finishing this one. We're just going to need lots more flax to do that. So let's go ahead and come up here. And then sort of just... I failed. So just sort of come up here and then do our XP update. And then from there, we're going to send you on our way for this episode. So attack, 257,000. We've got woodcutting sitting at 802,000. Construction, 1,891,274. Rune crafting, 438,000. Magic, 41,000. We've got mining at 4,038,000. Artisan, 3,118,000. And cooking, 139,000. Construction, 1,891,000. It's safe to say that we just got 200,000 construction XP in this video. I don't really know what time in the video we sort of cut off, but I'm going to say it's probably in less than maybe 15 minutes. So that's actually ridiculous. And if we had enough to keep going, I mean, in an hour, I mean, really, I don't even know how much you could get, but it's obviously going to be a ridiculous amount. So we're going to put all these back in here. Honestly, we could bring them with us. That's actually the best thing to do. It just sort of really weighs us down. But we're going to want to make more ash planks with these. And then when we come back next time to rebuild the base and the foundation, then we sort of are going to go about it a lot differently. Because then we're going to need to bring some ash logs to build the foundation again. I sort of made a mistake here. What we're going to do is put everything in here and then delete everything. And then we're going to send you guys on your way. Because I obviously want these to start their... process of destroying themselves, and that might take a little bit of time. So the sooner you start on that, the better it's going to be for you. So a lot of these aren't destroying right now, but like I stated, well, actually they are, but as I stated, they will destroy over time. So it's really not that big of a deal for all the ones that don't destroy. But ultimately, the more that destroy, the better. It sort of just makes you feel a little better when you're doing all this. But quite a bit to destroy right now. And you want to sort of be careful because I mean, you don't necessarily have to, but I do because I've got so many extra things sitting around here. I don't want to accidentally destroy a mannequin or something like that, even though they're quite far away. I'm running rather fast. So you can just see how this is extremely beneficial if you're just trying to get construction XP. And I know that when people play RuneScape, you're always trying to find the best way to get XP. You're trying to find the best way, the fastest way, and things like that. So I'm grateful that I found this and had the opportunity to share that with you guys, because that was another thing. It's sometimes in RuneScape, people don't want to share the best way to get XP because it was a race. I mean, people were trying to basically be the first one to do it. And if you start sharing all your ways that you're doing things, it's going to create a lot of competition. And that was like basically something that I noticed a lot of people didn't want to do, is share those things with you. Potentially once maybe YouTube came out, then it was an opportunity to do that, because it was very different at that point, because then people were willing to tell people secrets sort of just to get views and things like that. So I'm excited to actually see too about how Runite ore is going to look. I know it's not going to be easy to get. I know it's going to be a pain, and I'm pretty sure what that's going to look like is you're going to be fighting some dragons if you want some Runite ore. And those dragons probably are not going to be easy to kill. I mean, I would have to imagine that the developers of the game are working on different mechanics, so that way runite ore is still a very sought after item. And I know that they talked about introducing player trading into the game, so that's going to be quite interesting too, because there's going to be players who can't necessarily get these resources because maybe they're just not well versed in the game, and so they won't have access to them. So they're going to be willing to trade potentially large sums of other resources, so that way that they can access these items, so they can enjoy the game and progress further with potentially better armor and things. But anyway, guys, I know that this took a little bit longer than I would have liked to destroy all that, but we have reached quite a big milestone, and we're that much closer to 2 million construction XP. I don't know what just happened, because you can't... Oh, I dropped it on the ground. Because, yes, so we're that much closer to 2 million XP. And, anyway, guys, we really appreciate you checking out our content. And, like I stated earlier, if you guys haven't subscribed, we would greatly appreciate that, as we really like, your support. And, obviously, we are trying to make this a community thing, where we're sort of interacting and just offering different tips and things like that, showing you guys things you might not know about the game. So anyway, guys, as always, until next time, Legion of out.